Yes! Back at it again. Spill Your Guts podcast, episode 978,000 million trillion. Actually, this is episode number 4?
That'll be 3.
Number 3. Oh my God.
With an intro, so you're correct.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Rachel and Mandy here with our ever important Jesse, producer / sound man, keeping us on track.
Trying.
We're so glad. Listen, if you are just joining us, make sure you listen to our previous episodes so that you know what the heck we're talking about, because we are deep. We are out here. We're in our feelings. We're in our minds. We're in space. We're happy to have you. We had to wrap up our last episode. We were talking about some pretty heavy stuff, the themes in our life this year, different ways that's been showing up, wrestling through all kinds of things. What does manifestation really mean? All kinds of, light topics of conversation.
Just casual.
But where we left off was we were both talking about the sort of revelations we've been having the past few weeks and over, the past retreat season we've been experiencing and everything else. And you were just about to share a really juicy story about a drum ceremony you went to recently. So I want you to just kind of get back right into that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I talked last episode on how uncomfortable I am talking about this. But now that I have kind of fully jumped off the ledge into the spiritual pool, whatever we're calling it, I just I can't deny some of this stuff anymore. So we have this incredible healer friend. And I'm so lucky. She lives in the town where I live, where I have 2 friends.
Yay!
On purpose. But we met her because she did aura readings at our retreat in 2021 in Zion.
Shout out Holly.
She's super magical, and she ran what I thought. This is what I get for not asking enough questions or just showing up to this stuff and thinking I know what it's going to be. But I thought it was going to be a boring old regular sound bath, which if you don't know what that is, I caught myself explaining it to people at work as it's just sound therapy. You go and you listen to some crystal bowls and some little shakers and rain sticks.
Dude, isn't it interesting the stigma we feel so scared of?
Yes.
I think that's why we're talking about this in this past couple episodes, is because we're really naked out here, sort of saying, this is what I actually believe, and I'm not gonna poo-poo it or downplay it anymore. This is fully who I am, and it sort of feels naked standing out there being go ahead and judge me.
I'm fully, it was actually one of those moments this week where I was you know what? I'm going to talk about this on the podcast because I changed my language to make someone else feel comfortable about something that I find beneficial and believe in. And I hated that for myself. I got pissed at myself about it.
Ooh.
So I was I'm putting it on the podcast.
Which forces me to put it on the podcast. And also, look, this is what Rachel does. Listen, if you guys have a trainer in your life, this is what they do. They trick you into all the things you don't want to do, like exercise and hiking and proclaiming your spiritual agency. Amen.
That word for it. So, Holly and I, she ran what said drum ceremony and sound bath. And I also invited my mom because my mom is incredible. She's in her 70s and she is also still trying to figure out her place in this world. And she is out there trying different things. She goes to a regular sound bath yoga class. So I invited her because I thought that's what it was. And then quickly realized I'm so dumb. I know Holly. This is not at all what it's going to be.
Right.
And it's going to be essentially a release ceremony, which is similar to what we did in Sedona, like a rage on the page, where you are going to think about something you want to let go, and then there's going to be some really intense things that happen around it to help you release that.
Physically, tangibly like create the sort of physical manifestation of that release via
Yes.
exercise or burst of like movement or whatever.
Yes. So in this case, it was the drums, the drumming. It was the vibration, which the reason I went is because I went to a different sound bath like a month ago that incorporated drums, and it really, really spoke to me. Like I felt it extra.
And also, can I put you on blast a little bit?
Yeah.
You are a sound bowl player. Like, don't get it twisted. You are drawn to sound and music and vibrational therapies like of all kinds because you play the bowls. So people out there, don't get it twisted. RDP knows her way around some sound bowls.
I know my way around some bowls.
Is this something that could be on a future episode?
I think it should be. Uh-oh.
And what's funny is I even play them more like a drum set than I do like a traditional, like soft experience. So no surprise, all of this aligned because I am all in on the spiritual. And when you do that, you got to be real careful because then all this shit just starts happening and all the dots connect and all the people and experiences align. So, I hadn't really thought about, I felt like, you know what, I'm doing really good about letting go and releasing, especially going all the way back to the breathing detox, to Sedona, to the point retreat. Like I've been a whole year of trying to let this thing go, which if you don't know what my thing is, it's men. Sorry, Jesse.
Running theme.
Well, I mean, how can we reframe that actually? The limiting beliefs around men that you've
limiting beliefs around men, and then having several past life readings over the last couple months, realizing that this has been a theme, which made me even more pissed. This has been a theme across space and time where men in power and I have not gotten along.
Right.
So the ceremony started, everything was as expected. Women were releasing their things. And the woman that went before me wanted to release something that she was very much rooted in her past life. She believes similar, like she was essentially like persecuted and potentially even like beheaded. Like that's the feeling that she gets from this past life.
Wow.
And that's the thing she wanted to let go. And I was like, damn, we can let go of things from past lives because I didn't even know that, right? Like I didn't even know that was a thing. So she shared a little bit about her story, which was very, in her past life, something happened. She was on a ship and it happened. And in my past life reading in Sedona, I was also on a ship and something happened. And so I was like, God damn it. Of course, all this weird stuff is happening. So,
like here you are again, with these similarities and these things that make you feel like somebody's just right there.
Exactly.
Like
this is what we talked about last episode, that I'm in this spot. I'm in this position where I can no longer ignore this spiritual stuff because too many coincidences, if that's the right word, too many stories, people, places, things just are like coming together.
It like locks into place and it's just like profound. Yes.
Yeah. And there's no other explanation. And don't worry, I tried to exhaust every other explanation. The science, this person knows that person and that's why they came into my life. No, I do my homework. I try to disprove all of it and I never can. So the only logical explanation is then
surrender. Okay. Yes.
Which I find annoying.
Me too. Jeez.
So originally, like the thing I was going to let go was just like kind of frustration. And then Holly asked more questions and she was like, where's the frustration coming from? And I was like, oh, like it's a collective frustration. We narrowed it down again to this theme of men in power. So it started and I was like, you know what, Holly, like I don't know what's going to happen. I hope I don't hyperventilate all the things. So sure as shit, little drumming started, and a couple minutes in, I reverted right back to that detox breathing and essentially like hyperventilated on the
Really?
spot
From that breathwork thing that you learned?
from that breathwork thing.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't even try or know it was happening. My breathing pattern just went there. And so I started to do what you do and you lock. I had to sit down because I was like, Holly was like, you need to sit down. I was like, yeah, I do. Like I couldn't feel my feet. They were all tingly. I was like, I'm going down. Like, look out.
Oh, no.
So I sat down and we kept going. And Holly was having me like push out really big, heavy breaths. And I think too, I was sick too. So it was kind of like these kind of like creepy, raspy breathing.
And you were like probably trying extra hard.
Yeah. I was like, I don't have lung capacity, Holly. I can't breathe anymore. Right. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of like be done. And she was like, give me one last breath. And when I tell you, I let out a breath. It was not like a yell, but there was a sound with it. But it was the longest breath out I think I've ever had in my whole life.
Wow.
Like it kept going to the point where I was like, what the fuck? Like in my trainer brain, I was like, this can't be happening. How am I still breathing out? It felt like it lasted for minutes.
Wow.
And then Holly was like, okay, like then it kind of ended. And afterwards, like unprompted, one of the other women who's also a healer and she's certified in that Curtis whatever breathing thing too. She was like, has anyone ever talked to you about your past lives? And I was like,
you're like, get out of here. we are the most reluctant pilgrims. Are we not? We're just like aggressive for no reason. Listen. Okay, I'm going to interrupt you just really quickly because listen,
I'm laughing too
because
hard.
I'm literally like in the depths of my soul, like having this whole like depression at the factory moment, which listen to the last episode. And I'm just, silent tears beneath my safety glasses. Nobody knows. It's fine. Just figure. And I'm just deep in the depths of my soul. Just like, what does this all mean? Why are we born to suffer? Just on and on.
Depression at the factory.
Yeah. Depression and love. I'm only here for the love, guys, and the paycheck. The depression can... Anyway. So I'm just... Okay. I'm just like deep in it, and I'm just like in my head, and all of a sudden... I'm just like, what's the point of this? What's the point? Like, why is everything a riddle? Like, just wherever I go, there you are, like freaking out. And then all of a sudden, I hear make art.
That's when I go, oh, fuck off, universe. What does that mean?
No, basically, that was the reaction. It was like, because I was thinking in my head, and it was just like this sort of like, this feeling that was kind of gaining momentum about like the pain is not wasted when you share it, because when you share it, then other people don't feel alone. And like the whole point of like this human experience is to be seen and heard and understood. And we're all supposed to do that for each other. And the only way to do that is to express. And so the answer is make art. And I was like, oh, fuck off. Literally. I was like, no, I'm going to make art. I go to set down. This is so cheesy. Only spiritual, like woo-woo people like us will be like, oh, there it is. Everyone else will just think I'm stupid. But I go to set down this package on the scale, and it literally was 5.55 was the weight.
3 5s.
And I like right as I'm having this download about like make your pain into art. And I set down the package, and it's 5.55, and I literally said out loud, I go, fuck off. I was so mad. I was just, well, who just tells like universal consciousness, like supernatural angels, spirits, guides, ancestors, Jesus, God, whatever's out there? Who says fuck off to that? It's me. I'm the reluctant pilgrim. Hello, this is why we're friends. I'm like, you take me at my fuck off or not at all.
Okay, wait. Tell people 555
Well,
what an
okay,
angel
so
number is.
the angel number thing, which I really don't even fully understand, but from what I've like learned is that it's like a signal when you see those things that you're kind of on the right path, like what you're thinking about or what you're, working on or whatever. Like when you see synchronicities like that, it doesn't have to technically be like three numbers like that, but it like synchronicities in some way can start popping up for you allegedly to show you that you're on the right path. And so sure enough, I look up, I'm like, what is the spiritual significance of 555? And of course it's like transformation, life change. It's a period coming to an end, a new thing. And I was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I was like, mad. But this is why I love you, because we're having these like wild, amazing, like incredible experiences. And I love that both you and I are responding with like irritation. I'm like, not this again. Not you answering my prayers again. Damn it.
It is, because I feel like I'm probably, and maybe not, like I'm trying hard. Like I said, I've jumped, I'm trying hard to be all in. But I like, here's like how I kind of live my life. Like I think of like this scale, right? And for like lack of a better word, like politically, religiously, other things, like there's a right and a left where you have the most extreme beliefs on either side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being way on one
Like
side
a full
because
side.
I feel like it limits you.
Yes, I agree.
And you miss all the other stuff. And so I kind of like to like hang around in the middle and like go right and left, but never go all in, because that is limiting to me. Like, I feel like that blinds you. But when you have some of this is why I get so pissed, because like when you get such very clear extreme spiritual signs, it's like, fuck, like I'm trying to not be all in with you. Get away from me.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I feel that. That's why I
validating.
had to share that. Like, it's like, here it is being like validated and glorious. And I'm just like, no, I'm like, get off my neck. Get the boot off my neck.
Exactly.
But it's there. It's there. Okay, so you're at the drum ceremony.
Yes.
You're in it. You're just feeling that full feeling right there, like exposed.
Yes, this breath came out that as it was happening, my inner voice was like, how is this still coming out? Yeah, like wow. It didn't make sense to me at the time. And one of the other women that was kind of like Holly's helper was like, hey, have you ever had any past life readings done? And that was more was like, fuck you. Like, I don't even know this part. I was like, fuck off.
You're like, not in front of my mom, okay? Jeez.
Yes, and my poor mother was there, which I had to like kind of put out of my head, because she was about to see me do this weird witchy thing in a circle of women with drums. And she thought she was just going to lay down and have a nice time.
Buckle up, Joanne.
Oh, I wish she were.
I love her. Shout out, Mom.
Oh my God. So this woman, and Holly also was like nodding her head like 100%. This is the story. She was like, what I'm seeing is, and what's crazy is my mom, again, maybe it wasn't so weird for her because she's kind of had like psychics and things too, but she's always been very much tied to like, and felt very drawn to and called to indigenous culture, specifically Navajo. So much so she just took course at the local college, because fun fact, when you're over 75 or when you're over 55, you can take unlimited college courses for $75 for the year where I live. I cannot wait. I'm going to take all the classes, hook up with all the guys. No. Okay.
Oh my God, I love you.
She's so, her narrative, like her story that she believes of her past life is somehow tied to that. And so, and also somehow tied to Brendan's dad. So my ex-husband, she was very much like, believes that was a relationship in some of her pastime lives too. Okay. So it's some common things.
So Mom was there. This lady's about to hit you with the reading.
Yes. And she says, what's coming up for me is you were a leader of some sort in some kind of tribal indigenous community, and you had a male figure in like above you in power, that there was something that you wanted to do or believed wholeheartedly in, and he would not allow it. And I was like, huh, here's that goddamn theme again.
What?
Yes.
This is the first time I'm hearing this, you guys. I'm genuinely... Okay, wait a minute. So wait, this lady did not know about this other, like any of these other themes. She hadn't heard you talk about it.
And you know what's even more, two other more crazy things is when we finished one, I was like, the girl that was kind of holding me behind me had braided my hair and she put feathers in my hair. So that was kind of interesting. And the other weird fucking thing is when she asked us to think of the picture, it was actually a great visualization technique, but like picture the thing you want to let go of. What does it look like, feel like, smell like? What's its shape, its color?
That's actually like a Reiki thing too. To be able to like personify maybe a feeling, because it can be like kind of like vague, right? When you're thinking of a thing that doesn't have like a particular name or event or something attached to it. That's also a Reiki thing too.
So I had pictured, before I even labeled it as men, I just had labeled it as frustration. That was the feeling. I had pictured a black egg, like a black egg.
Interesting.
And I hadn't shared that. And Holly had put, well, if you don't know the crystal world either, that's a whole nother podcast.
Stay tuned, folks.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mandi had a crystal or a rock in her bra right now. I literally am holding one. Like, yep, she does. There it is. Oh, there's multiple.
Jesse just... I stay ready. Stay ready.
Yeah, they're all here. Like literally, I hold this. It's a whole thing.
Jesse's literally done. He's absolutely done.
You guys need to know this is on a Zoom call on cameras. So this is kind of weird.
He just saw me reach into the bellows.
They both did it. But anyway, they
pulled crystals out.
So
of
they're bonding
clothing.
over. They're bonding over crystals. Let's continue.
So if you see a lump in my boob, don't be alarmed. I'm just protected.
So during our little thing, like Holly had crystals and I can't remember the attunement sticks where they send like vibrations and stuff. Mm-hmm. Holly had put in my back pocket an oval black crystal.
No.
Like she had a bunch of rocks and crystals and all sorts of things, and I can't remember what kind it was, but she felt like it was a sacred, like there was some energy. And so I pulled it out of my pocket and I was like, what the fuck is this black Easter egg shit doing in my pants?
No way.
So do you see what I mean? So like this is the stuff. This is the stuff where too many things align that I cannot explain, that are real, that I thought or happened with no one else having prior knowledge, knowing. No one knew I was thinking about a black Easter egg and then pulled it out of my pocket after.
Yeah, dude, that's wild. That's wild.
That is where. And
how lucky.
That encourages me to keep going in this, like all in on the spiritual stuff, because I felt like
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before you continue. Do you feel at this point like you even have a choice?
No, I feel like I've gone too far.
There was something that I used to share when we've gone to, the mules have turned to glue. Okay. It's from Say Anything, the movie. John Cusack. Okay, anyways. There's something I used to say when I was sort of describing my deconstructing from evangelical culture, which is not language that I had 10 years ago when I was going through it. Now, because of like social media and these unprecedented times we're living in, there is language for people who are exiting that culture. And I have been really learning a lot, like watching this sort of next generation of folks sort of reclaim their own faith and evolve outside of like some constructs that had been placed on them. Back when I did it, there was nobody really else doing it. Back when Mikey and I were quote unquote deconstructing, that was it. We were just out of the fold, if you will.
Yeah.
and have had to sort of, which contributed, it can go down a whole other rabbit hole there. But I used to say, once you start to pull the string from the sweater, you can't put it back. Right? Oh. Like once you start pulling that out, you can't weave that back in. It starts to unravel, and that's it. That's it. Like once you start, that's why I asked you, like, do you even have a choice now at this point? Because it's kind of like, I've tried to bail on this thing a few times now. I'm like, Jesus, get out of here. And then he just shows up. And you know what I mean? And that's the kind of thing that, like, I don't have the energy or even the drive to, like, even have those conversations with people who want to naysay and, like, argue with me. Like, I literally don't care because I know what I know. I know what I've experienced. And it's too much to even try to explain to somebody. It's too much.
Here's the thing is I keep getting confirmation, which like the trainer in me, it's motivating to me. So in like the time from Sedona and especially in the last week, I feel like since I let go of this men power thing, whatever this is or was, I have gotten hit after hit after hit of now seeing men differently.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
Also, I had sent you. I follow this guy on Instagram. I shouldn't say who it was, but I've almost unfollowed him many, many times because we are not aligned in a lot of ways. However, I am adamant about social and following people that I don't necessarily agree with because I don't want to be stuck in my own echo chamber. That's very important to me. Sister. Otherwise, why am I on social? To just fucking feed my ego, right? Yeah. And he posted something. He was starting a new business and he wrote kind of like, what is a man? Like, what does it mean to be a man? Especially now in 2022. And it was very well written, talking about like masculine and feminine energy. And there was a line in there that just crushed me, that I literally cried, like it broke my heart.
I have it pulled up here. Do you want me to share the name? The handle? Hellbound Half Wolf.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't even like his name, sir. I almost messaged him. I probably still will. Because I needed to read what he wrote, because there's a line in there that says something like, it took me 30 years to go away and come back and feel like I had something to offer the world.
Can I read it? I see it right in front of me. It says, the truth of the matter is a lot of guys have no idea what it takes to be a man because no one ever really taught us. It took me 30 plus years staring into the abyss to be able to come back with something meaningful to offer the world.
I was like, there it is. Like, that is my heartbreak for men. And so it was like, it's been building this, like letting go and release and trying to see them in a different way and returning to empathy and love and understanding.
And genuine connection too.
Yes. Because there's been a lot of times where, especially when we talk about like retreats, I'm like, fuck men. Like this is their fault that we even have to have retreats. You know what I mean? Like I get mad. And so since I've been doing these things, all this energy space and even a different type of man is like, and men are coming around into my life and proving me wrong and showing me different. Ooh. And so that
goosebumps.
And so that is a thing, being jumped off the cliff into the spiritual world, that motivates me. That makes me want to keep going and not like retreat to where it's comfortable or where people think I'm like kind of normal.
Well, because in the resistance, like we were talking about, that kept you sort of only seeing the one type of male energy.
Yes.
Because you had like dug in your heels, much like with me, how with my own resistance, right? I was only seeing success as one thing.
Yes.
And it was hurting me. I was like suffering. Literally, like, what else do I have to lose before I like surrender to this?
Yeah.
Because the truth is, like on paper, right? All those things I was like excited to elevate myself, you know? Like, I'm going to elevate. I'm going to just, like, take over the game and just, like, you know. What the fuck?
Gary Vee shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like, no offense to Gary Vee, but I was on that, dude. I was like, gonna prove. But when I tell you, like, when I find this last thing of really having to, like, lay that down and surrender, like, this whole success, my ego, basically, of what made me valuable, and, like, to realize, like I will be married to Mike Holden 18 years in September.
Mikey.
And there is no, and I'm going to get real cheeseball on you real quick because it ties in with your, like, real men, like we talk a lot about toxic masculinity all over the social platforms, right? But, like, where are we talking about, like, positive, powerful masculinity? Yeah. Like, not many places. Mm-hmm. But when I tell you, like, when I laid down this whole thing I've had about success and realized, like, I have something that so many people, like, wish they had, that I have not been counting, like, as big of a success as it is. Yeah. I literally, like, we had this whole, like, deep conversation the other night, and we've had to fight for it, dude. Like, if you listen to our last episode, I was joking about how, like, I saw a meme that said 2023 is in 4 months, but I haven't processed 2019 yet, and how, like, that was very relevant to me. It's very true. Like, I've been getting my ass kicked for about 3.5 years, and we've had to fight through some stuff. But the other night we were having this really deep conversation, and we've just been in such a good place, and I was just feeling like, oh, this just, like, super big, energetic, like, love for him, just, like, unreal. And I looked over at him in bed. I go, is this real? Is this real? Like, we really are. Like, this, am I making this up? Am I being dramatic? You know? And he was just like, no, it's real. And it was just, like, so intimate and so, like, special. And it's, like, the audacity of my ass, like, wandering around a factory feeling sorry for myself because I'm, quote unquote, not successful. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
yeah, because you and Mike, you're in the minority, or, like, an anomaly in general. And, like, years of marriage, but also, like, you like each other
hardcore.
Like, want you, like, that itself is, like, something as a single-ish person. I get so sad or upset when I see couples together that just clearly hate each other.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Or, like, just they sit at a restaurant and they're both on their phones the whole time and no one talks. Like, I get sad and mad, like, because, like, fuck you guys. Like, I want that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, a healthy version of it.
Right. Like, you want
like, you, again, sorry. I tell a lot of people to fuck off, including the universe. But, like, I get, like, why bother then? And so, like, the fact that, like, you and Mikey can even sit and have self-awareness, like, look at this special thing,
dude. It was like, it was such, thank you. That was the feeling. It was like, it was, like, so unreal that I was like, is this real? Like, are we really, like, this, like, obsessed with it? Are we in love? Like, ew. But, dude, it hasn't always been like that. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like, we've gone through all kinds of weird seasons and stuff, but like, right now, I don't think we've ever, like, had more appreciation for each other, understanding for each other, like, just this connection that's just, like, unmatched, like, nothing else has ever come close to it. And it was just, so, like, in lieu of what you were saying, of, like, finally surrendering to the thing, and now you're, like, seeing things so differently, it's like, I am too. Like, the surrendering of the success and the trying to prove my value to, like, the same fucking people who've proven over and over and over and over and over and over and over that I am not valuable to, has released me to see whom I am actually supremely valuable to.
Well, and it's
just by existing, not because I am providing a service or a time or a talent, and that's where I have exhausted myself elsewhere. Is like, what can I do? What can I be for you? I will be reliable. I will be your ride or die. It's me. Look at me. I'm valuable. I want to belong here. Right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, time and time again, resentment because I have had expectations, right? That if I do those things for these people, they will finally love me, or finally I will etc.
Yeah.
And it's like
And the letting go.
letting it go. Like, let me just, if I do nothing else in my life but just exist, who am I valuable to then?
Yeah. I had that same thought. So I started wasn't going to share this one. I'm going to share it. So I'm training for another. I know,
You
this
juicy.
podcast is killing me. I'm training for another strongman.
Oh my gosh.
I had qualified for nationals, but I didn't feel ready. And I really wanted to compete as masters, but I need to win again in masters, which is just 40 plus. So I have one at the end of October, and I actually hired a coach this time. I'm not just going to show up and wing it.
You're just not going to show up and kick everyone's ass?
Hi.
Rachel Prairie, everyone.
But I was chatting with him because I started Monday, new program, some new nutrition. And I was kind of telling him about like where I'm at physically. And I was like, you know what I can say like without a doubt? And maybe it comes back to like that 40-year-old thing where you just like stop giving a fuck. But like, this is my absolute favorite version of me that I've ever had. Like, I've loved them all. But like my body, mind, soul, how they're all working together. It's my favorite version of myself. And I think it's because I'm allowing myself to like explore some of the woo-woo, because before I was just mind and body, and like if woo-woo came around, great. But like I couldn't feel that way if there wasn't like all three.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like working together, like synergistically.
Well, and don't you feel like, I love that you just said that, because I think in a weird way I feel the same way too.
Yeah, because that's what it just sounded like. Even your tone when you were talking about you and Mikey, I could feel that tone. I was like, oh, this is just like the best, like the most snuggly good version of
because
ourselves.
It's real, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
Like whatever those quote unquote goals were that I was imagining to measure myself as a success aren't shit. Like, this is the real stuff. Real conversations like this. Mm-hmm. Real moments with my husband. Being my real true self. Being able to talk to old church friends about, I use tarot cards.
Yeah.
And like just letting it be weird because it's weird. And like exercising because I feel better, not because I'm trying to like, show everybody what weight loss looks like in the fitness world as a plus size girl. Like all that's a bullshit.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And so like the pain and all the things really are the path to freedom. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're on the cusp of something, RDP.
We really are. We have to be, because we literally, like, you and I have talked about this, like, we've let all the things go. Like, what else? Like, that's where I get so pissed. I'm like, what else do you want from me? You know what I mean? Like, I've done all. And I know letting go is like a cycle. Like, you go and you go and you go. But I'm like, we have to be nearing something pretty significant.
I think
because
so.
I've got nothing left.
Girl, we're out here. We're raw dogging it. I love it. I think that's a great place to wrap up for today, and maybe tee up our conversation for next time, because you just brought up the most juicy and the most juicy topic, and I think where we're going to naturally, organically head anyways, is now that we're, hashtag this is 40 in these experiencing 40 years worth of lessons and in these 40-year-old bodies, and feeling like we're in the like best version of ourselves that have existed thus far. That's pretty powerful stuff. But like, what does that mean to be in your body? What is body positivity? Like, let's get into it. We might, if we can wrangle her, have a special guest on next time. So I won't drop. I'm just gonna leave that as a teaser. But yeah, what do you say? Shall we get together again and dig into that topic?
We have to, because I pop off too much about it not to.
All right, peeps, as always, we love to hear your feedback. Please slide into our DMs if anything that we've talked about resonates, if you have questions, if you have topics. We would love to keep the conversation going. Thanks for being here as we document our distress / incredible evolution. Also, Sweet Tart Ropes. This is my first attempt at getting you to sponsor us.
Nerds cluster.
Cherry flavored only. All right. And shout out to Jay Patty Patty Bandwagon producing.
Oh, damn.
We love you. Thanks for keeping us on track. And that's it. We'll talk to you guys next time.